Yo, it's your boy, Mark K. Smith, also known as Aikens, also known as Coolest Guy in sports. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're talking about Caitlin Clark today. And sorry if I'm not animated. Sorry if I'm not like giving you my usual energy. But when you talk about a serious topic like this one, sometimes you have to tone things down a little bit. And the events that has happened to Caitlin Clark is disgusting. It's sad. And it just puts in perspective of celebrity stardom, and also puts in perspective that it's a lot of weird people out here in this world. And she's been alleged stalker has been arrested with the situation with Caitlin Clark. And I'm going to play a video. I'm going to react to it. We're also going to play the alleged stalker when he was in the courtroom and his outburst. But it just goes to show you that Caitlin Clark is a human being. And no matter how big she is, no matter how much money she has, at the end of the day, nobody deserves to have their safety threatened, be nervous to walk outside, have to change their public appearance. Nobody deserves that. And it just goes to show you that we are in weird times. People are strange. And there's a reason why Caitlin Clark has so many bodyguards and security around her, because she is a global star and she's a iconic player and she's the face of the WNBA and I believe the face of basketball. But it just puts things in perspective that people got to understand that all of the things that Caitlin Clark went through with the successes, she still had to deal with something as disgusting, distasteful, and horrendous as this event with this stalker. So I'm going to share my screen.
WNBA star Caitlin Clark breathing a bit easier. 55-year-old Michael Lewis from Texas is behind bars, charged with stalking after prosecutors say he sent Clark a series of sexually violent messages.
You not only have someone who's maybe in a place of prominence, but also just kind of the nature and the aggressiveness of what was being tweeted.
According to court documents charging Lewis, there were...
And so Lewis has been charged with one count of stalking, accused of engaging in a course of conduct, repeatedly harassment at Caitlin Clark. We're talking about sexual things, explicit things on X, vulgar statements, and also sending sexual graphic messages to Caitlin Clark. And once again, Caitlin Clark has came out and said that she was very fearful. And it kind of forced her to change her public appearance to ensure that her safety because of the situation that she was going through.
At least 14 messages between December 16th and January 2nd, many too explicit to quote. In one, authorities say Lewis wrote in part, "Been driving around your house 3 times a day, but don't call the law just yet."
And this is insane to know that people can drive around your public property, can tweet at you. And I'm just happy that Caitlin Clark had the initiative to make sure that the authorities did get on top of this, because there's some people that aren't in Caitlin Clark's position and don't have her type of, celebrity status or power to have the authorities to do something about it. Sometimes these things go unnoticed depending on if you're just a regular below average Joe.
In another, "I'm getting tickets. I'm sitting behind the bench." The affidavit says the FBI discovered recent messages were sent from a hotel about a half-mile away from the arena where Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, play, as well as a library in downtown Indiana.
So this guy is not even from Indiana. He's from Texas. So we have this guy basically had an imaginary relationship in his eyes with Caitlin Clark, which caused him to be this creep and drive all the way from Texas to Indiana. And he's driving around, tweeting her, talking about, "I'm around the house and don't call the law and authorities just yet." And he's around the practice facility. and as well as his library in Indiana. This is some sick stuff.
Indianapolis. When police questioned the Texas native, he claimed he was on vacation, and this is just an imaginary relationship.
He was on vacation, and this is just an imaginary relationship, like I just stated. Like, this guy is nuts.
According to the documents, but prosecutors say the messages were threatening. Clark told police she altered her public appearances and patterns of movement due to fear for her safety.
The individual is starting to take affirmative steps to maybe bring himself in closer proximity to the victim. That made everybody certainly understand the urgency of the situation.
The basketball phenom, known for flashy three-pointers, wrapped up her first WNBA season with the Rookie of the Year award, calling her and her sport into the national spotlight. We spoke with Clark just before the draft.
I heard that season tickets are going like blazes in Indiana. Have you heard that rumor?
I have heard that rumor. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think they're selling pretty well.
And this is what I talk about when we have conversations and when we talk about just overall celebrity status, and we talk about these players, whether it's women, whether it's men, and these people that are seen like superhumans in a different public light because of their profession, because of the things that they do on the basketball court or the football field or the soccer field. And it just brings things in perspective that at the end of the day, these people are still human. And when I look at this situation with Caitlin Clark, I think about all of the things that she went through in 2024. And I talked about it earlier in the stream, like some of her successes and the things that she accomplished. But at the same time, it was a lot of things that people were talking about with Caitlin Clark and were upset about Caitlin Clark, whether it was WNBA players being harassed by quote unquote Caitlin Clark's fan base, even though that wasn't her true fans at all. It was just trolls, racist implications, social media pressure from the league, pressure to perform and produce on the basketball court, pressure from people saying that she needs to talk, she needs to speak out. And all these things were happening in 2024 with Caitlin Clark. A lot of things, some things on the court, a lot of things that had nothing to do with on the court as well. So mostly off the court narratives and agendas that were trying to be pushed. And it brings into question, like, once again, Caitlin Clark is a human being. And I think sometimes people as fans and the media, and that's why mental health is so important. And that's why this generation is very big, and the sports and the athletes are very big and they stand on their values and they stand on the things that they believe about, and they talk about things that they're dealing with. And it's very important because mentally, it would take a toll on most people. And when we talk about having a certain mentality, when we talk about Caitlin Clark and how great that she is on the basketball court, she's even as tough outside the basketball court, because to go off and to know that you have a stalker and you know you have somebody that's threatening your safety and causing you to change your public appearance, and you're still able to go on the court and dominate. You still be able to handle all the pressure that people are trying to place on you and the narratives that people are trying to place on you. It just lets me know that she is very, very mentally strong. She's a very, very mentally strong young lady, because things take a toll. No matter how great you are, no matter what's your gift, no matter all the great things that you do, no matter if you want to continue to try to be a positive person and keep things positive, at some point you're human. And it just goes to show you that she was able to withstand and go through all these things. And it brings into question that I'm pretty sure she has a strong inner circle and a strong support group within her that has probably had her back and probably helped her go through challenges and face things that people didn't even know about until this incident came out. But I'm going to say it again. We have to understand that people are human, players are human, and Caitlin Clark is human. And you look at 2024, everything that she went through, for it's not the successes, but also for it's the hate, being the face of the league, being the chosen one, being the best generator to ever play the WNBA side of basketball, entering the league as a rookie, dominating, breaking records, but also the things outside of the basketball court when we talk about the harassment that players were facing and people wanted her to speak up. And then she spoke up and it still wasn't good enough. And then we wanted her to speak up again, and she did it again, and it still wasn't good enough. Then she spoke about it in times, and it still wasn't good enough. And then it made people, some of her fans in her fan base, upset because they wanted to use her name as and the things that they wanted to spew on her for their own political agenda that she wasn't even about. So it just seems like 2024, she's dealt with a lot of craziness. And it goes beyond the WNBA players being harassed by trolls in their fan base and racial implications that they wanted to put on Caitlin Clark because she's a white girl, she's dominating, she's hooping, and people want to try to make it seem like it has everything to do outside of her actually being the chosen one on the basketball court, a hooper, a generator, a 4-level scorer. And let's not talk about the on-court production. Let's talk about everything outside of the game of basketball. And they wanted her to talk about the things that some WNBA players were experiencing on Twitter, and then the WNBA came out and made a statement, and social media pressure that was on Caitlin Clark and pressure from the league as well. And people saying she needs to speak out. When she does speak out, it's an issue. When she speaks out and shows her support for Black women within the WNBA and speaks out in a Time magazine, people are still upset about that. Anything, it just seems like to push narratives and agendas. It happened this year. And this situation coming out that she was dealing with a stalker, she was dealing with a person that was threatening her safety, and all the things that she dealt with, and leaves me to ask, I hope that she is okay. Because once again, she is a human. And I also have to bring this up. Where is the WNBA Player Association? Where is a statement from the league? Just like they had a statement about social media trolls, WNBA released a statement talking about those things. Where is the statement talking about this stuff going on with Caitlin Clark? Talking about celebrities and WNBA players and how they have their support and they're protected, and we want to make sure that all our players' mental health is prioritized. We need a statement on this as well. And once again, it just goes to show you that she is human. And sometimes we have to not forget about that. These players are human. Mental health is important. This situation is crazy. But let's go to 1%. Now, this is the craziness. This guy is really, he's different. Real weirdo.
Morning, Mr. Lewis. No, sir. This is initial hearing.
First thing he says, guilty as charged. This guy is very,
not.
very strange.
You have a right to remain silent, and I expect you to exercise that. Okay, this is just telling you what the charges are. You do not listen. I'll give you a chance to talk. Not your time. Stop talking.
He's saying throw the book at him. This is the stalker. His name is Michael Lewis.
You have a right to know what your charges are. You're charged with stalking as a level 5 felony. All right, they are alleging level 5 felony carries 1 to 6 years in the Department of Corrections with a presumptive sentence of being 3 years. They are alleging that on or about December 16th, 2024 and January 11th of 2025, Michael Thomas Lewis Jr. did stalk another person, to which Caitlin Clark, by engaging in a knowing or intentional course of conduct involving repeated or continued harassment of Caitlin Clark that would cause a reasonable person to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, or threatened, and that actually caused Caitlin Clark to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated.
This is when Caitlin Clark came out and said that she felt that her safety was threatened. She had to change her public image in the public, as well as alternate like routes and things of that nature.
Or
It's
threatened,
crazy.
and did make an implicit or explicit threat with the intent to place Caitlin Clark in reasonable fear of sexual battery. That's the charges. Do you understand the charges against you? Not yet. Not. No. I'm asking you. Do you need an attorney? Are you planning to hire one? You also might need that.
He don't even have an attorney. This guy's off his rocker.
But give me my medication. All right. So do you suffer from mental illness? And what medication are they not giving you? There is a no contact order with Caitlin Clark. Do you understand that? You need to sign it. Perfect. Do you understand? And I'll give you a copy of it to make sure that you understand.
No contact order. He can't meet any anywhere where Caitlin Clark is at.
You are to have no contact with her whatsoever. Direct, indirect. You cannot call her under your opinion.
Indirect means like basically you can't tweet her, you can't be around her, you can't be in her facility, you can't say anything, can't even mention the names Caitlin Clark.
Number anyone else's. You may not contact her via any social media or text or phone or computer. Do you understand that? You are also to stay away from Gainbridge Fieldhouse and Hinkle Fieldhouse. Okay. Is that within 500 feet or 1,000?
I don't know. I'd have to report for clarification. Not like if you're going to be a quarter mile highway. You can cut through right now. It doesn't matter.
I'll do 500 feet. But you cannot go in the building. Cannot walk by. Cannot park outside of it. You need to give your phone number and whatever address you have, because if you post bond, you will be on GPS. There'll be a hold for pickup, which means they will put an ankle monitor on your foot, and they will know your whereabouts. If you violate either the stay away order or the no contact order, your bond, and it's proven by a preponderance of the evidence, or if you try to contact her again, the court will revoke your bond. If you violate the no contact order in the jail or out, they can file an invasion of privacy. You have now been told by the court you may have no contact with her of any kind. Your bond is set in the amount of $50,000 surety. That's $5,000 to the bondsman, and you must remain in the state of Indiana unless you get permission. You will be on GPS. You will not be allowed near Hinkle Fieldhouse, near Cambridge Fieldhouse, or near Caitlin Clark. Do you understand? You can go anywhere else you want other than those places.
Yes.
And you'll fill out the paperwork to allow him. All right. So I'll see you on March 31st unless you tell me otherwise. That's a hold for pickup. Thank you.
Yeah, so $50,000 bond. This guy, March 31st, will be the next time he goes into court. But yeah, this is just a scary, scary situation, an unfortunate situation. But I'm glad Caitlin Clark is all right. I'm glad that she took the proper steps to get this under control. And nobody deserves to have a stalker or be stalked or have to fear for their safety or have to change their appearance in public and alter their routes and the way that they do things in public just because we have sickos and weirdos out in the world. So this is your boy, Ma K. Smith. Hope y'all like this stream. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, follow me on AKIS NBA and all the social media platforms out there. When I'm talking to WNBA, I'm talking the NBA as well. Always remember, faith without works is dead, and trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not onto your own understanding, but acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I'm gone, man. Peace.